and welcome to the BBQn Sports Podcast, where we talk all things Kansas City sports, barbecue, beer, and more. This is Jason Weaver with my co-host Kelsey Moore as we lead you off into the next inning.
Welcome back to another episode of BBQn Sports. I'm Kelsey, he's Weaver. We've mainly only got Chiefs football for you today. Baseball is finally over for Kansas City. I know Weaver's not as happy about that as I am, but football season is the season we all live for, in my opinion. So we've got the Chiefs for you off to a 2-3 start coming off that loss against the Bills. How do you feel about that game, Weaver?
Look, we were both at the game. Great time, good tailgate. But I'm a little pissed, and all Chiefs fans got the right to be a little upset right now. Going to cover this real quick. Crap game. No reason to drag out this recap. I don't even want to really talk about it, to be honest. So, Chiefs offense wasn't good. Mahomes, 2 picks and a fumble. Mahomes was also the leading rusher. Now, Clyde Edwards-Helaire did get hurt early in the second half, but we couldn't run the ball anyways. Sorensen, look, I'm done defending the guy. I'm not going to defend him anymore. Get him out of there. He can't handle the pass. I can't watch it anymore. It's sickening. And I think some of the, honestly, the meme of Matthew every time with his hands up in the air, every time he blows coverage, I mean, everybody else on the team's got to be feeling it too at this point, right? Rain delay. I don't know how long it was. Stadium ran out of food. It was pretty wild. Honestly, was it 45 minutes, an hour? 7 minutes, 12 seconds left at the game. I put this in my phone because I wanted to remember it. It was the first time in 3 years that I felt like I had no faith and I knew we couldn't win the game. It was the first time in 3 years. Frank Clark roughing the passer call was the worst call I have seen since Derek Johnson's roughing the passer call against the Titans back in the 2018 wildcard game. I'm not happy right now. That being said, the hard part of the season is over. I said it before, I'll say it again. We had a really hard 5 games to start the season against 4 playoff teams, the Browns, Ravens, Chargers, and Bills. It could have went either way. We could be 3-2, we could be 4-1. Would have been a couple sloppy wins. We're going to make the playoffs this year. We're still a wild card team. Unless a complete meltdown of the Chargers, we likely won't have a home playoff game. And honestly, the Chargers might melt down, but as bad as we currently are, 3 or 4 losses is possible right now. And we still wouldn't get a playoff game at home. So that's all I got to say about the Chiefs-Bills recap. We can talk about Josh Gordon's 1 catch, X Factor, and Red Extreme's fight. Maybe just how nice it was being back in Arrowhead. Me de-escalating the fight in the bathroom at the game. I don't know. I just don't want to dwell on that awful game Sunday. I'm ready to move on. Kelsey, what you got?
Yeah, so, I mean, you touched on everything. The Chiefs' defense looks terrible right now. It looks awful. We all know that. That's not a question. I don't think anyone's expecting the Chiefs' defense to look great next week. The thing that's frustrating about these losses is we watched the defense get a couple key stops to start the second half, and the offense didn't score. We had more first downs than the Bills. We had 400 yards of offense. We had 120 yards running the ball. We had less penalties. And we lose by, 18? 38-20 was the final score?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't even understand how to explain what's going on right now. Because we're moving the football, we just find ways not to score it. Our defense is terrible. Daniel Sorensen, you saw it. He got burnt on that double move down the middle of the field, and then, literally 3 minutes later, he got burnt on the other sideline across from us. Down the field is, again, 2 plays within a 5-minute span. I don't understand why we have Juan Thornhill, who before he got injured his rookie year was arguably fighting for a defensive rookie of the year. He was a candidate for sure at the least. He gets injured, and all of a sudden he's got to earn his spot back. That's all we hear Spags say over and over is Juan Thornhill has to earn his spot back or has to earn his playing time. How has Daniel Sorensen earned his playing time? That's what I don't understand. And then don't even get me started on Neiman. Ben Neiman's still our dime linebacker when we have, which, don't get me wrong, Willie Gay isn't playing, but our best defensive player this week was probably our rookie linebacker out of Mizzou. Get him out there in dime situations. I don't care. I know Hitch isn't quick enough to play in dime situations anymore. He's old and slow, but Ben Neiman has deflected 0 passes in his career and has been a dime linebacker for 3 years. How is that possible? And how does anybody think that's a good idea? I don't know, man. I honestly don't even have words for what's going on right now. Because I don't care what anyone says. The Chiefs aren't a bad football team. No, they're not. The defense is not good. The offense still moves the ball at will. The offense finding ways not to score the ball, though. Turn the ball over 4 times against the Bills. Turn the ball 4 times against the Chargers. 2 times against the Ravens. Like, we're just finding ways not to score the ball. And we're leaving a defense who already is terrible in horrible spots. Like,
yeah. And honestly, I don't even blame Mahomes that bad. The 2 interceptions he had, look, one through the hands of Tyreek Hill, the other, great defensive play. I mean, the guy made an amazing defensive play. You can't fault him for that.
All this slander for Patrick Mahomes is hilarious. He has the number 1 QBR in the NFL right now.
Look, We've talked about this before. The last 3 years, or last 2 years at least, he got away with a lot of balls that should have been interceptions. It was tipped up or whatever, and the guy either couldn't catch it, it just went the opposite direction. But, I mean, now I guess more people are just dropping back in coverage, or maybe there's more guys around to catch those balls. I don't know, but, I mean, we've seen it the last couple of years. It's winning our favor. It's not going in our favor this year. Is it going to last all year? No, we're not going to turn the ball over 37 times this year. I mean, you're crazy if you think that. Okay? The hard part of the schedule.
That's what it looks like right now. We've already turned it over 11 times in 5 games, so we're on pace for about 37.
Yeah, but we're not going to. Okay, it's
right.
That's not how it works. Okay, we're going to play a whole bunch of mediocre teams the rest of the season. So I don't see that happening. We got 2 big games left, but as bad as we're playing, I could still legit see us losing 4 games. I mean, it's pretty sad, but. We talked about the power rankings, and honestly, where we thought the Chiefs should fall, and it's because there's a large gap between contenders and not contenders, in my opinion. So, still playoff team, but yeah, this last game was terrible. It was just awful. Don't even want to talk about it. It was great to be there, though. I mean, first time in Arrowhead in 2 years. We didn't go to a game last year. So the feeling of walking down and sitting in 9th row was thrilling. It was awesome. It was loud. It was really loud. The crowd was really energetic throughout the whole game, really. So yeah, I mean, I was really happy. I was really happy about the atmosphere and just being back, honestly. So that part was really nice.
Yeah, I agree. First game since January of 2020, AFC Championship game against the Titans. The game before we went to the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl. It had been a long time coming. We wanted to get back, and it was fun being 9th row down there. If you haven't looked at our TikTok, we have some TikToks from it. But yeah, I agree. It's time to move on. You got to put these 5 games behind you, because as bad as it is, it's that old saying. It's never as bad as it seems. It's never as good as it seems. It's not as bad as people in Kansas City or people watching the Chiefs think it is. Yes, we have beat ourselves up. We've done it to ourselves. That's the thing that's frustrating. We have done it to ourselves. But we're going to move on. We're going to get past this. Do I think we're going to win the division? I don't know. We have a big hill to climb to do that. Do I think we're going to be in the playoffs? Yes.
I was looking at the Chargers schedule, and honestly, they could maybe lose 2 games. I don't really see them losing more than that without a major meltdown. So I don't foresee the division being in our. It's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna happen. But again, the Chargers are pretty well known for being a weird team, weird franchise that kind of just disappears. So
it's the NFL too. You never know what's gonna happen. I mean, crazy stuff happens every week.
Yeah, well, they play us and they play the Ravens. That's probably the 2 hardest games they have left on their schedule.
Well, if you want, I have the Chiefs schedule up here. I can pull the Chargers up, and we can see what we're going to go and what the Chargers are going to go if you want to do that.
I mean, we can look at it because, I think we need to talk about who we got to play. We got to play Green Bay still. Could be a very...
All right. So,
go ahead.
So this week, we have at Washington.
Yeah,
we're 2-3 right now. If we don't win that, then we might as well just throw in the towel. So
if we don't beat Washington, We might just have to stop talking about the Chiefs for a week or something.
Yeah, our podcast is gonna go talking about strictly barbecue and beer.
Hey, look,
we're gonna drop the sports
for the 4 people listening to this podcast right now. It's gonna be brutal if the Chiefs are lose to the Washington football team. It's gonna be brutal.
Okay, so we're saying we beat Washington. We're 3-3. Then we go to Tennessee.
I think
what do you say about that?
I mean, I think we beat them, but they have the potential to beat us.
Yeah, Washington. I mean Tennessee. I'm sorry, Tennessee. I expect them to be better than they've been. They've still been okay. They've been a solid team, but they're not as good as I thought they would be. So we'll say 4-3. The Giants at home. Again, if we don't win that game, then might as well throw in the towel. 5-3. Then we got the Packers in an afternoon game at home. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's going to be a good game. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is a good quarterback. He gives his team a chance to win every game, in my opinion. So it could go either way. That's one of the games that I think we could still lose. I mean, especially if we play as bad as we're playing right now.
We said we're going to beat the Titans, so we'll say we'll lose to the Packers. 5-4. At Vegas. Do they even have a head coach right now?
Yeah, without a head coach. I mean, early on, I was thinking they were looking really good. Then they got embarrassed, I felt like, against the Chargers. So, yeah, without a head coach, I mean, that team's probably and most likely going to be in shambles the rest of the season.
They lost to the Bears this week, dude. Forget the Chargers.
Yeah. So, I mean...
Matt Nagy doesn't know how to run an offense down there, and still they somehow beat the Raiders.
Which, by the way, Eric Bieniemy is the front runner for Vegas odds right now to take over that role, which that is going to be... That's going to be a bag of mixed emotions right there, let me tell you. I would be happy for the guy, want him to lose every single game. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be weird, that's for sure. And he knows our entire playbook. It's going to be terrible for us for the future.
I mean, I think that's I agree, but also I don't agree because Andy Reid's playbook's never the same. It's ever changing.
Yeah, it's
but he does know the Chiefs inside and out, the organization, and he's just an offensive mind. Him with Derek Carr and those weapons could be scary, man. It really could be scary. All right, so we say we beat Vegas 6-4. Then we got the Cowboys at home.
I mean, if they're playing really good, they could beat us, but I mean, I think we take them down. I think by that time, honestly, if you want my personal opinion, I think by that time we're probably running. The offense is going to look different. Defense is probably going to be a little bit better. If we play in like we are now, it's a loss, 100%. But
all right,
I think we'll be in better form.
We're going to go with a loss, and I know you just said we're going to win, but just for the sake of argument, we're going with a loss because that's our second toughest game, I think. 6-5. Then we got Denver at home. They're terrible right now.
Yeah.
They beat 3 teams that at the time were combined 0-9 before the Giants and Jets somehow got lucky wins. So what is that? 7 wins? Were we 7-5? Yeah. And then we got Vegas at home, 8-5. At LA Chargers.
Now that's a game that we could lose. I mean, if the Chargers are playing good, we could lose that game as well.
All right, so we'll just say 8-6. Wait, I messed up somewhere. I know we have. Oh no, 8-6, and then we got Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and Denver to end the season. We'll say 11-6.
There you go.
So we'll say 11-6.
11-win team, still wild card.
Oh yeah, we should definitely make a wild card with that. Chargers. Let's look at what the Chargers have. They're currently 4-1. They've got at Baltimore this week.
Let's say Baltimore beats them. They're coming off a really impressive win. Well, okay, I shouldn't say impressive. They should have never been in the situation they were in to begin with, but that comeback was phenomenal. It was a great.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
had one of the best performances ever.
Yeah.
Honestly, ever.
Ever.
It was impressive. So, are you saying win or loss for Baltimore or for LA in this one?
I think Baltimore goes in there and wins.
It's at Baltimore, but yeah, 4-2 for LA, and then they have a bye, and then they've got New England at home.
They beat New England.
To win. 5-2 at Philadelphia.
They beat Philly.
6-2 Vikings at home.
They beat the Vikings.
I think the Vikings are tough. I think that'll be a good game, but for the sake of argument, we'll go 7-2. Steelers at home.
They beat the Steelers.
At Denver.
Denver's terrible.
At Cincinnati.
I mean, I think they beat them. They might give them
Cincinnati
a little trouble, but I think they'll beat them.
Cincinnati looks good right now, but yeah. Giants.
Win for the Chargers.
Chiefs.
And that's going to be a good game, but obviously, you know, it depends on how we're playing. But yeah, I mean, we got to give them.
So we gave us the win. We'll give them. We gave us the loss.
Yeah,
so we'll give them a loss too, just for the sake of argument.
Just for the sake of
I'll give them a loss. And then at Texans. Yeah, Deshaun Watson. If Deshaun Watson starts playing by then, the Texans might have a chance. But, you know, the Texans have their best quarterback as their fourth-string quarterback, so I don't know what's going on there. Denver, and then at Vegas. So we're saying the Chargers are going to have 3 losses. Basically, we're saying the division's in the bag.
Now, that being said, it's very well known that the Chargers fall to pieces at times, so anything could happen.
And the NFL is about as unpredictable as you can be.
And this year's has more parity in it than I think I've seen in a long time. It's been a crazy year. This week was crazy. So
the Washington football team, coming into the season, everyone expected them to have one of the best defenses in the NFL, and they've had one of the worst defenses in the NFL. Everyone expected them to have one of the worst offenses in the NFL, and their offense has been decent. So opposite of what the team we thought we would see this week. So what do you see about this game this weekend?
I mean, it's a wrap. It's going to be a win. If we lose this game, I mean, I am going to be just a very I said it was okay for Chiefs fans to be upset right now. If we lose to the Washington football team, you have every right to be pissed, and I mean pissed off. So, yeah, we got to win this game. Their quarterback, I mean, he played terrible this last week. Sunday, 2 interceptions, no touchdowns. I do think their D-line is still pretty solid. I mean, they haven't, as a defensive whole, they haven't played well, but they're still going to give us some trouble. But fortunately, we got Mahomes, so Mahomes just needs to get on page with his receivers. They got to figure out their little routes where they can kind of pick and choose where they're going to go and find the pockets and stuff. They're just not on the same page right now. They got to figure that out. Even if they don't, though, I still think we destroy Washington.
Yeah, so if you look at Washington this year, they lost to the Chargers week 1, 20-16. That was actually a close game. I was watching that game, and the Washington had a chance to win. But then they beat the Giants 30-29, the Giants have got to be one of the worst 4 teams in the NFL. Then they got beat by the Bills 43-21, but we just got beat by the Bills 38-20, so we're only 4 points better than them, maybe, by that logic. Then they beat the Falcons 34-30. Falcons have got to be one of the worst 8 or 9 worst teams in football. And they lost to the Saints 33-22. The Saints are 3-2, but I don't think they'll even be in the playoff race coming at the end of the season. I think they're the 3rd best team in that division. Their offense looks terrible right now. Yeah, I just can't believe the numbers that the Washington defense has given up. It's night and day from last year. They gave up 33 to the Saints, whose offense looks anemic, has looked anemic all season. They don't even know what they're doing. They don't have a receiver to throw the ball to.
Oh, that was last. Yeah, this is not last week.
That was this week, yeah. And they gave up 30 to the Falcons. They have a decent offense, but Matt Ryan isn't even what he was 2 years ago. The Bills destroyed them. The Giants scored 29 on them. And ironically, the Chargers, the best team they played, they barely lost to. But I expect the Washington game to go pretty much like the Philadelphia game.
Yeah, I mean,
I think.
I mean, hopefully they don't put up as many points as the Eagles, honestly. I feel like at some point we've got to draw a line in the sand and stop somebody. And if it's not the Washington football team, I don't know who it's going to be.
If it was that easy, I think we would have already done it. I don't think our defense is good. Our D-line is terrible. Our D-line might be the worst in line in football.
Well,
and we have a lot of money.
You know what? It's really hard to get to the quarterback. It's really hard to get to the quarterback when Sorensen is 20 yards behind the guy he's trying to cover. I mean, when you give the guy 20 yards to throw the ball to him, and he just has to stop and stand there and wait for it, and then he still can run, how's the D-line ever going to be effective in that situation?
Well, Sorensen be on the field.
Look, I'm not defending the guy anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's still leading the team in tackles. I don't even care anymore. I'm not defending him anymore.
I know he leads the team in missed tackles. He had a couple this week. On the bright side, Patrick Mahomes leads the league in QBR. Not that really matters at all, but you know.
Yeah, not the best with turnovers, unfortunately, but.
And the running game has been better the last few weeks. Honestly, we
got to touch
Clyde
on that
Edwards-Helaire before he went out had 2 straight. Clyde Edwards-Helaire had 2 straight 100-yard rushing games before this week. He went out, but the team had over 100 yards rushing still this week, 120 or 130, something like that.
So Darrell Williams, obviously, our number 1 running back going forward until Helaire comes back. McKinnon, look to see him get a bigger role. I do kind of look forward to that. I think he does fit in really well with Mahomes and his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. Same thing with Williams. We'll see. I mean, maybe this could be even better. Really, who knows? I mean, because you're going to go 1-2 Williams McKinnon, and now you got to respect the play out of the backfield every time. Whereas before, we've pretty much drilled down the fact that they don't like to give Helaire the ball in the air.
So I don't know if you saw this today. There was a report out that said the Chiefs. So Marlon Mack is on the trade block for the Colts. They announced that a couple weeks back because they have 3 running backs. There's a report out there that the Chiefs are reportedly interested in trading for Marlon Mack.
Nothing.
Now,
I'd give him nothing.
If we trade a 6th rounder for Marlon Mack and a 7th rounder, then I'll take it.
No.
But other than that, we better not trade anything for Marlon Mack.
A 7th round pick. I don't even think I want to give him the 6th.
Well, we're giving him a 6th and getting a 7th and Mack back.
Oh, okay. Give him the 6th and we get a 7th and Mack back. Okay.
Basically, we're moving back from 6th to 7th and then getting Mack with it.
I could see that. Anything more than that, and I will be furious. And I'm going to lose.
Yeah, I don't know why we would go out of our way to trade for a running back.
I heard stuff on the radio today. They were talking like a 4th round pick, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. This guy's getting ready to be cut from the team, and we're going to give somebody
don't get me wrong.
for him?
The Colts have a very deep running back field. That's why he's about to get cut from the team.
No.
Marlon Mack is still a serviceable back. The only thing I would say, though, is with McKinnon and Williams, I think we'll be fine. I don't know if you know anything about him. Derek Gore in the preseason was tearing up for the Chiefs, and he got put on the practice squad. He was a big-time fan favorite. Just bring him up, sign him to the active roster, make him the 3rd back, have McKinnon and Darrell Williams and Gore be our 3 running backs. Gore doesn't have to touch the field. You can still run the ball with McKinnon and Darrell Williams be the 3rd down back. The only thing I don't like about that idea is McKinnon and Darrell Williams, while they're different, are kind of the same. They're both 3rd down guys, really. I don't know that either one of them is a 1st and 2nd down guy. You just want to hand the ball off to every time. McKinnon used to be, but with all the injuries he's had, I don't know if you'd consider him that anymore.
I mean, look, if Derek Gore comes up, tears up, that'd be great. I'm not going to put a lot of stock in that. I put some stock in, what was that guy's name that we had, that little guy?
Thompson.
No, was it Thompson? Yeah, Darwin Thompson. Yep, that was it. Yep.
Yeah, Darwin Thompson.
I liked that guy. Thought he was going to be a cool fan favorite. That didn't turn out to be anything at all, really. So
he couldn't hold on the ball, man. He fumbled more.
So that's about as much confidence as I got in Derek Gore right now. But we'll see. Hey.
Well, I'm not saying Derek Gore needs to come up and be our number 1 running back. He's from our practice squad. I'm saying we don't need to trade for a running back. He can come be in our 3rd guy. McKinnon and Darrell Williams can handle the load for a few weeks. Now, if they're expecting Clyde Edwards-Helaire to be out for 8 weeks, that might be a different story. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because at that point, you're talking about being at week 13, week 14, and he's got to get acclimated back in the offense, back in shape, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
If you're talking about 8 weeks, it's a different story.
By the time he's ready, he's still a week or two away before he's in form and actually playing. So
you're talking about his first game being like week 16 at that point.
Yeah. I mean,
but
we got to deal with
if he really is only going to be out for 4 weeks, then just let's move on. Let's not trade for a running back.
Well, and the other thing is, coming back at week 16, he'll be rested, he'll be healthy. I mean, ideally, at that point, going into the playoffs, I don't think that we necessarily need Hilaire for the rest of the season, honestly. So, I mean, I think we'll be okay, and I think it'd be a good time for him to come back. That being said, like I said, we're not going to need him. The offense firepower through the air is going to be out of the world once Josh Gordon's full speed. So.
I just want to say, Josh Gordon, I had a Chiefs insider tweet and say, how many receptions and yards will Josh Gordon have? And, people were saying 3 receptions, 54 yards, all kinds of stuff. I said 1 reception, 10 yards. He had 1 reception for 11 yards. I just want to throw that out there. So not only did I call that we were going to pick him up, I called his first game stat line pretty much as well.
Yeah, you called that we were going to get him and called his first game. So what's he going to do this game 2 against Washington?
I mean, I think he'll just have a couple receptions. I think we'll try and give him the ball a couple times. I think if he stays out of trouble by the end of the season, he'll be a bigger part in the offense. I mean, I don't expect him to go out there and compete with Hill and Kelsey for numbers or anything, but I think by the end of the year he'll be getting 3 or 4 receptions a game. I don't expect any more than like 2 this week.
Boy, Chiefs fans were excited to see him. When he came out onto the field, the crowd went nuts.
And when he made that catch,
yes.
Dude, the crowd erupted.
It was like everybody thought he was just going to be at every play after that, I felt like. It's just
every crowd was hyped for that game. It's just, unfortunately, it didn't go our way. It was fun until we realized we were getting our butts kicked.
Yeah, yeah. It was fun.
And the Chiefs fans, because of the hour rain delay, made them run out of food, so that was fun.
Look, they gave us hope. They gave us hope there. There was definitely a chance to come back, and it just didn't go, and it just didn't go our way. I mean, that roughing the passer call was garbage. So,
yeah,
like I said, it's just I don't want to dwell on that game at all. Really, it was just bad game. Ready to move on. I felt like I've been at a lot of these games, typical games like this. I mean, thankfully this wasn't like a playoff game or anything because I've already seen, 3 of the worst playoff games, probably 3 of the top 4 worst playoff games.
Bro, you can't say that anymore. We watched the Chiefs win the AFC Championship and go and win the Super Bowl, and we were at the AFC Championship.
We were also at Titans throwing touchdown passes, Mariota throwing touchdown passes to himself, and we were also watching Antonio Brown be covered by a guy that's like 72 speed on Madden.
Justin Houston, one of the best pass rushers in the league, is guarding Antonio Brown 40 yards downfield.
On a crucial situation. It wasn't.
Yeah, it was the game clinching play. Yeah. It was 3rd down, game clinching play.
It's not like it was 1st down and 1st and 10, and we're like at the beginning of the game.
Son's like, I'm gonna psych him out here. I'm gonna have Justin Houston guarding Antonio Brown. Nobody will expect it. Nobody. He's like, I'm gonna have the most. No one's gonna know what's gonna happen. And then Ben Roethlisberger realized what was happening. And he's like, oh, there's my guy. And he just floated it out there, too. He literally just laid it out there. Antonio Brown just sat there and waited for it, caught it.
Now, we were at the AFC championship game where the Patriots beat us, and they threw to the same guy over and over and over, and we had an offsides call. And, yeah, I mean, that's another one that is just terrible. I mean, I guess that one was more – that one's definitely not near as bad as the other 2 we just talked about or the Colts game, but – that one was still rough.
Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty bad. When we were celebrating, when we had the interception, we thought the game was over.
Yeah.
Man, talk about one of the biggest letdown, like one of the biggest emotional high to low emotional drops of all time. We were so high, like we were all celebrating. We were hugging people we didn't know. We thought we were going to the Super Bowl. Oh my gosh. I can remember it like it was yesterday, man. I thought we were going to Super Bowl.
Can't
I was
sleep
like,
on
I never
Tom
thought
Brady.
this day happened.
Can't
And then
sleep.
all of a sudden, there's a flag on the field. D4 is lined up offsides. He'll never play another game in Kansas City ever again. See you, bro. Get out of town.
Can't sleep on Tom Brady. I mean, not the the offsides was a whole nother deal, but yeah, man, brutal.
Yeah.
Gives me chills
Rough.
talking about it in the wrong way. Usually I get chills when I get excited.
And you know what's bad?
chills talking
I'm the
about
kind of
how
person
close
who
they
goes home. I'm the kind of person who goes home and watches all of the stinking sports takes about it too. Had to watch the damn reporters just rub it in all night, just over and over about how the Patriots are going to the Super Bowl and the Chiefs aren't. Man, that was a rough night.
Yeah.
I remember Derek Forsyth was at our house and he's like, "Why are you still watching this?" I'm like, I just can't turn it off, man. I've watched the game on replay even. Like I've watched the replay of the game since then. I know how horribly it finishes, and I still watched it.
I'm not gonna go back and rewatch it. if we didn't win, I'm not going back to rewatch and just see terrible things that happen.
I watched the 49ers Super Bowl. I don't know how many times. That Super Bowl game, I watched it a lot. All right, you wanted to talk about this beer that we're doing this week?
All right.
Or do you want to talk about Jon Gruden and how he?
No. I feel like right now we've got to talk about. Yeah, I feel like we got to talk about Jon Gruden right now. It's big news. It kind of affects Kansas City. So, yeah, the guy. Somebody dug up some old emails. They weren't great. Said something that
they didn't just dig him up. The Washington football team owner is being investigated for something completely different, and he had emails with Jon Gruden because owners run the league, and he had to make sure they found something that wasn't on him. Okay. They found emails from Jon Gruden, and they had some
from over 10 years ago.
Racial slurs, some homophobic slurs,
so,
calling the commissioner of the league.
Yeah.
Some slurs.
So at this time, Jon Gruden, correct me if I'm wrong, Jon Gruden wasn't a coach for the NFL. He was working for ESPN, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so at this time, he was not in the league per se. He was working for ESPN. So, yeah, the original stuff that came out was some racial slurs that he had said from 10 years ago in an email, which, the guy shouldn't have said anything. If you don't want skeletons to get dug out of your closet, you shouldn't have put them there in the first place, right? So, but then more stuff came out, and it just got really bad from there. Really bad from there.
The stuff that came out about Goodell, I don't care what your beliefs are on cancel culture or PC police or any of that. You're not going to be able to call your now boss that, or the owner or the runner of the league, that kind of stuff, and get away with it. It's just not going to happen. It doesn't matter who you work for, where you work. The stuff that came out about Goodell, yeah, he's just.
And at the time, granted, maybe he didn't think he was coming back to the NFL, but it doesn't matter. Even if he was still working for ESPN, he'd been cut right now. He'd have
been gone from ESPN in a heartbeat.
Especially with the emails coming from, I would assume, I don't know if it was from an ESPN email or whatever, but it wouldn't matter. But yeah,
probably, I don't know.
He's gone. Looks like Eric Bieniemy is the front runner to take over his job. Like I said, I'd be really happy for him, but definitely not something I want to see. Definitely not something I want to see.
Here's the thing and this is getting into the thing that I want to know is, why has nothing come out that the Washington football owner has said? Like, all this was said by Gruden. It's kind of weird that he didn't reply or comply, like have any part in this. Like,
what's he getting investigated for?
Dan Snyder, the owner of the Washington football team, is currently being investigated for some sexual harassment allegations that happened back, I think it was around 2011, the same time that these emails were dug up at. So yeah, that's why he's being investigated right now. And supposedly he had a big part in covering these up, is what they're saying, and they're investigating it now. He was aware of everything that was going on.
Okay.
So I think it's kind of funny though that all of this has come out about Gruden during this investigation, and that it's kind of like, hey, there's a squirrel over there. Let's look over there.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
it
kind of
definitely does seem like it was totally like pushed aside. Like, hey, let's focus on this instead. That way we don't have to really talk about this over here. So I don't know. Who knows? Surely that's not going to be the case because obviously this is being investigated. So everything's going to come out at the end, and
Yeah, eventually it's all going to come out. I think it's safe to say with everything that's come out about Gruden, Dan Snyder will probably be forced to sell the Washington football team at some point. I think the owners will probably push him out at some point.
Maybe they can get an actual team name at that point.
Yeah. They're still – the thing I don't understand is they were the Washington football team all last year. Why weren't they doing the vote – like they were doing a fan vote now. Why weren't they doing the fan vote last year so that this year they could have a team?
That's bizarre for sure, yeah. I thought maybe they're just going to stick with the football team.
One of the options is football team. There's Red Wolves football team. I don't know. There's 5 or 6 options. One of them's Washington.
Red Wolves would be kind of cool. I kind of like that.
The thing I don't like about it is they're not going to change anything. I guarantee the jerseys and stuff will stay the same because then you got to rebrand everything, remerch everything.
Nobody wants to have different colored stuff. I mean,
yeah,
that would just
that'd be the only fun thing to do about it. Just rebrand everything. It'd be like Madden creating your own uniforms.
Yep. I will hope maybe the owner will take over and move the franchise, but I doubt it. All right. Well, let's get on to this beer here. We got Double Shift Brewing Company, and this is the Tessellation.
Yeah.
A mosaic.
So this is down in Crossroads, right down by City Barrel. I've been there a few times. It's right across from ITAP. If anyone knows where ITAP is in Crossroads District, it's literally right across the street from there.
Yeah, and they're calling it a Mosaic India Pale Ale. So I don't know if Mosaic is actually supposed to be something different or not. But I have been drinking this here for a little bit, 6.7% alcohol. Honestly, I picked it because we've had a lot of high reviews, and I was kind of hoping that we'd have something low. But I actually kind of really like it. It's pretty good. It's not a very heavy pale ale. Those are the ones I don't like. I do not like very heavy pale ales that I feel like my mouth's all dried out and I just have that long lingering taste at the end. So yeah, I mean this is pretty solid. I mean, I like it almost as much as the beer we had from Logboat. I'm gonna go a 7.7 with this. So 0.5 lower. But it's a really solid beer. It's another beer that's high alcohol content, and I could totally see drinking it. It does come in a 16-ounce can, so it could get a little scary drinking a bunch of these.
So yeah, I've had this before, as I mentioned. We've been down there before. Actually, Double Shift is a nice little place. I enjoy going down there. I'm not huge on. This is not my favorite beer that they have. I would rate it probably a 7. It's not a terrible beer.
Wow.
But this it's definitely not my.
Is this the first IPA I rated higher than you?
Probably so. Yeah. I don't know. It's just not my favorite IPA, honestly. I don't know how else to say it. I would if I was. I think the main reason why is because if I went down to Crossroads, I probably wouldn't go to Double Shift for a Tessellation. I'd probably go to City Barrel. I just know there's better right down the road. I do think Double Shift's a nice little place. We had fun down there, and we've been back. We've been there multiple times. But yeah, it's an okay beer.
And yeah, if you have any beers that you would like us to try or breweries you'd like us to check out, throw it down in the comments on our YouTube channel. We'd love to go check it out. I think this weekend maybe, Kelsey, we're going to watch the game, your house. Maybe we'll do a couple impromptu pumpkin beers, some local brewery pumpkin beers. That's something we've been wanting to do since it's October. I think it'll be really fun. Maybe a couple with the ladies again. That was a pretty fun video, and the reaction from the girls.
Maybe we can get Bryce and Reagan over too, and they can try it with us as well.
There we go. Yeah.
We need to see if we can get that Choco Taco. I forgot to check that
Oh,
out
yeah.
at City Barrel.
That was
It's a
call
couple
out.
weeks.
Yeah.
It's a couple weeks old now, and they go through that beer so quick. But I'll have to check and see if we can get that or not.
Our buddy Josh did reach out, ask us to try that. Obviously, we have not been able to secure any at the moment, but hopefully we can do that because I was told it was really good. I don't know.
I'll go down there tomorrow afternoon and see if they have any. If they don't, I'll probably pick up something different, like a 6-pack.
Is it only at City Barrel? Is it City Barrel, right?
Probably, yeah. It's a City Barrel beer, and it's probably only there because they probably only made a limited supply. It's part of their ice cream truck series. They made a bunch. They made like Bomb Pop.
Oh,
a whole bunch
the Bomb Pop wasn't bad. I remember trying that. Yeah.
Dude, some of it was really good. They made a bunch of crazy stuff. It all started with everyone being stuck in their house because of the COVID. They started making all kinds of stuff like that. They actually had like a delivery service that they made like an ice cream truck. So they made the ice cream truck series and a whole bunch of crazy beers.
I mean, they really been pumping out a lot of different beers. So that's definitely exciting. I mean, it really kind of makes it easy for us, I would say, to come up with beers to try. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well maybe we cover a little Sporting's KC real quick. Are they currently
second in the West?
They're second in the West.
They lost to Seattle. That game we wanted to go to on that Sunday.
Yeah.
That between the top two in the West, they're second in the West right now. They're 5 points behind Seattle, which is essentially a win and 2 ties. And then they've actually played one less game than Seattle still, though. They have 6 games left. Seattle has 5 games left. And then Colorado's only a point behind them. Colorado only has 5 games left as well. Let's look at the schedule real quick. Vancouver on the 17th, which is Sunday at 9 p.m. at home.
At 9 p.m.?
Yeah.
That's got to be like a different time zone or something, right? There's
no, that's not it. That's not at home. That's at Vancouver.
Okay.
I just assumed the team on the right was at home, but it's not.
That would be.
So they've got at 9 p.m. Vancouver Sunday, and then next Saturday they've got Seattle at 2:30 p.m. Then they've got a home game the 27th, which would be a 27th would be a Wednesday.
Is a Wednesday, yeah.
They have a home game at 7:30 p.m. And then on Halloween, they have a game at Minnesota at noon. And then they've got November 3rd at Austin, Texas, and then November 7th at home against Salt Lake. What's November 7th?
November 7th.
Can we go to the season finale?
November 7th
I'll get tickets
is
for it
Sunday.
if we can go to it. Who at 5 p.m.? What do the Chiefs play that day?
I mean, we could make the Wednesday game, but I don't know if the girls would want to go to that or not.
It might just be me and you. That'd be a fun time.
Yeah, it'd be.
We got the Packers at 3:25 on November 7th.
Oh my God! Yeah, we're not gonna miss the Chiefs game for that.
So the Wednesday game is October 27th at 7:30 p.m. We're gonna have to look at that.
But that's just the regular season, right? There's still a few playoff games to be played after that. So
yeah.
Something.
We need to try to get to a regular season game though.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Maybe that Wednesday game's the game we go to. I mean, I've heard about it over and over and over again. It's a really good time, is what I'm being told. So, I
went to a game on a Sunday and it was a lot of fun.
Oh, so you have been to a game? So.
Yes, we went to one game. It was fun.
Remember the time we tried to go to a Mavericks game?
Yeah, and I bought tickets for the Friday game when we were trying to go to the Saturday game. Yeah, I remember. We will also hit one of those up too, and we'll make some TikToks and stuff from it. The Mavericks games are a blast, man.
We've never let him down. We've never let it go that he bought tickets for the wrong game. In fact, the game was already over. It was the day before, so we stood in line.
That was about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there trying to get the ticket scanned, and the guy's like, "It's not scanning. It's not scanning." He's like, "Let me see your ticket." He's like, "This is for last night's game." I was like,
Still was a great night.
So we went to the liquor store, bought some booze, and played some board games at home.
Yep. So it was still a great night, but yeah, it's very ironic and funny. Kelsey's not one to make many mistakes, so we like to rub it in when we can take shots. We take shots. He also said that he will never buy the tickets for a Mavericks game again because of that. I think he's actually refused to buy tickets, period, for anything. Royals games, Chiefs games, everything. So I'm pretty sure that's happened.
I didn't say I did, but okay. All right, well, thanks for tuning in again. We appreciate all our supporters, all our followers, all the likes, all the TikTok listeners, everyone out there. Just keep tuning in. We appreciate it. We do.
TikTok's crushing it.
And until next time, don't stop smoking the meats.
The meats.